Welcome to the Queen ZiZi-KaKa Multiverse live at ZiZi Castle Chambers. Today we're officially closing the month of August on your calendar, but the state of media on my multiversal metamorphosis will. And just to emphasize the purpose for us regurgitating these historic events by recognizing these international days is in a bit to map our minds in a journey connecting the past events to our present lives to help us navigate similar situations as stepping stones and never as stumbling blocks. That leads us into the topic of today. Let's check our herb of information and see what we got for the day. Oh wow, interesting. Right then, before we dive into the topic of the week, I would like us to do a little recap on what we should have dialogued about last week, but I was busy doing some case studies on particular victims or survivors of trauma, abuse, terrorism. Terrorism does not necessarily mean terrorists get to kidnap you or stuff like that. It could also mean you're being abused by a narcissist. Yes, a narcissist can be your uncle, can be your friend, can be your brother, can be your parents, can be your auntie. Any form of abuse, any form of what can I call it? Violence and domestic maltreatment. It's an act of terrorism. So we had to go into this case studies to talk to some of these survivors, some of these victims. And that's the reason why we have international days like this, so we can empower these survivors, we can fight for justice for some of these victims, and we can help prevent some of these things from reoccurring. And the best way to prevent this is by speaking out. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody until these acts are being abolished. Yes, lots of people die in silence. People are being abused every day. They're being violated every day. They're being terrorized every day. But because they don't speak up, some people die in silence. But when you tell someone to tell someone, slowly these devilish acts are being abolished. And that's why we recognize days like the 21st of August, which is kind of a tribute to some of those who lost their lives, some of those who are still living, or have gone through are still going through some trauma from violence or abuse. So join me, let's celebrate that day. Also, we want to recap on Slave Trade Abolition Day, which was on the, if I'm not mistaken, the 23rd. Oh, I have it here in my herb of information. I got this from my herb, of course. So we have the slave trade abolition, which is on the 23rd of August, and this day also reminds us of slavery, which is not necessarily because when we talk of slavery, most people think of what the white men did to the black people. Yes, that is accountable, but we want to go more detailedly. Like I said, we want to relate these past events to our present lives, how they can help us in our present lives, because we don't want to be talking about history, things that have already passed. We want to connect it to the noun, how to overcome it. And some of us are still mind slaves. We are not enslaved. We have not yet emancipated our minds from this act of slavery. Some of us are modern slave masters, and some of us are modern slaves. What am I talking about? That takes us back to abuse again. That takes us back to racism. So how do we fight this? How do we completely abolish slavery? Tell someone, to tell someone, to tell someone until these things are abolished completely. Now, my people, having said all that, we want to go into the topic of this week. 25th of August, we're celebrating the Women's Equality Day, International Day, of course. And when we talk about women equality, they're mainly talking about the voting rights of women. But now I want to take you a little more deeper, because I hear women say this: what a man can do, a woman can do better. And men are so mad when this statement is sounded. And then I'm thinking to myself, you guys are mad. But on the contrary, you're like 50-50. Do you hear that a lot too? Yes. A man will be like 50-50. But at the end of the day, if you actually agree to 50-50, it's like the woman is doing 70% and the man is doing just 30%. Why do I say this? But if you go to work, you work hard, you earn money, you share the bills. But at the end of the day, the woman is the one doing the cleaning, the cooking, taking care of kids, satisfying her husband. She's doing every other extracurricular activity, chores in the house. A lot of chores, yes, house chores. And the man is doing nothing. All he does is just to provide. So where is the 50-50? That's why I come to the point of women need to be honored, because actually men and women are not really equal. Even though we're fighting for, equality and all that, maybe you can stay with that at the political space, but coming down to the real woman and our responsibilities and duties are not the same. A woman and a man can never be equal. In fact, as a matter of fact, women deserve honor. They deserve not just respect, but honor. Respect a man, but women need to be honored. Yes, it's a man's world, but it's nothing without the women. And that's why I have this policy. I would tell everybody I meet, men. It's funny, but it's real. Men, love her, crown her. Women, respect him, enthrone him. So crown her with love and enthrone him with respect. The men, you are the givers. The women, you are the receivers. Doesn't mean that you cannot give, but men, I would say this again, you are the initiators, and women, you are the nurturers. So every man out there, instead of fighting for equality, women, listen to what you want to do is, men, be the king, women, be the queen. Just like the game of chess, the queen protects her king, but the king has to make a move. How? Crown your queen with love so that she can enthrone you with respect. Am I making sense? Well, that aside, we want to go to the last celebration of the month, which is actually on the 31st, and we are celebrating what? African descent. Yes, African Descent International Day, and I'm sure you can see from my culture, from my attire, this day is mainly it's a way of saying it was organized by the UN, and it's a way of saying Black Lives Matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Because for so many centuries the black race has been pushed aside, and we have been marginalized and a lot of racism and stuff like that. But the UN, the world, has given us an opportunity to showcase our culture, to showcase our heritage, to to contribute to the global growth. And this is a time where every African has to stand out with your culture, bring up the family values, talk about Africa. What do we have in Africa? What makes Africa? Let's celebrate our ancestors. Let's honor them for upholding our culture, for passing down this heritage, this ancestral heritage. It might be in the form of music, it might be in the form of attire, it might be in the form of language, it might be in any form, but we're proud of who we are because Black is King. Thank you very much. I hope this sinks deeper. For if there is one thing you should take today, it should be that whatever you are, whoever you are, wherever you're from, you might be Indian, you might be Arabic, you might be Western, you might be Africa, be proud of who you are. Yes, white, black, green, purple, be proud of who you are. So I'm African and I'm proud to be an African brown queen. This was your one and only shining, smiling star, me Queen Zion Zaidu, Kinder Catherine, aka Mama Lion Eagle, woman of value, mother of majesty, wife of virtue, I see a Queen of Zion. Thank you, me people. See you next month. It's gonna be saga for saga. Love you.